the three meaning of Govindam. That is the Shankaracharya's Guru, Krishna, Lord Krishna, and the Vedanta Vakya. Go means knowledge. So that is Brahma Tattva. That was very powerful for me in this Pallavi. So Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhajamudamate, Samprapte, Sanhite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshadi, Dukrin Karani. So seek Govinda. Bhaje, seek Govinda. Seek Govinda, O fool. Because when the time comes, appointed time of death comes, surely, nahi nahi, surely never never, the grammar is going to save you. Rule of grammar can save you. Seek Govinda, seek Govinda, seek Govinda, O fool. When the appointed time comes, that is the death, grammar rules will surely not save you. This opening stanza is considered as a chorus, and it is generally repeated at the end of each of the following verses. Bhajagovindam is a chant that is generally sung in congregations. The leader sings each verse and the entire audience takes up the refrain, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam. In this refrain verse, the disciple is asked to pack up his heart with thoughts of God rather than with his anxieties to acquire, hold, or possess secular accomplishments or even achievements. This happens to all of us, no? Our mind is full of anxiety to acquire, to hold, to possess our accomplishments and achievements or plan for it. Yes or no? And the thought of God is rarely there, except maybe when we do something like this.
Yeah, completely.
The grammar rule that has been indicated here stands for all secular knowledge and possessions. The grammatical formula mentioned here, Dukrin Karane, is from Dhatopat of Panini's grammar treatise, Siddhanta Kaumudi. The import of this condemnation that all grammar and such other secular sciences cannot save the soul when death reaches to snatch the individual away from this limited ambit of temporary existence here in the world, reminds us of a similar situation in the Chandogya Upanishad, where Narada approaches Sanat Kumara humbly, begging for initiation into the great knowledge. The teacher rightly asks, "Tell me all that you already know so that I may instruct you in what you do not know." Narada thereupon gives an endless and brilliant list of sciences that he had already mastered, from astrology and astronomy to literature and art, music and dance, all the varied sciences, etc. At which Sanat Kumara says, "These are all mere names. The infinite Bhuma is to be realized. It exceeds all these." It is interesting to know that in the list of Narada's accomplishments, grammar was especially mentioned. It was also especially mentioned. Knowledge of grammar is no doubt necessary. It is means to an end to understand rightly the Shastra declarations and even to appreciate fully the advices of the teacher. Grammar is useful. But to waste our precious time, lifetime, in the pursuit of all these non-essentials and never taking up seriously the study of the greatest sciences, which alone can save man from the thraldom of imperfections, is being condemned here by Adi Shankaracharya, Acharya Shankara. For when death comes to erase you out of existence in this manifested world, of what use is your science for you? Of what charm is the art that you have mastered? Of what help is the knowledge of grammar then? While living here, man's greatest endeavor is to understand and master the science of life, the reality behind them, and to gain his perfect identification with it. He must be able to meet death not as a moment of utter annihilation, but as a springboard to rocket himself into an eternal existence, peaceful and divine. There is a set of optimistic men of mere book knowledge who quote Gita and say that at the time of parting, they shall remember the Lord and thus achieve all that is to be achieved. In the Gita, it is said that one who leaves the mortal coil remembering me, he is saved. Book knowledge cannot save us from unrelenting law. Law is the Lord. Even in the Gita, it is said, Antakale cha. The importance of the conjunction cha is not generally well realized. Shankara, in his commentary, explains that this conjunction cha stands for all the life through and at the time of parting. The term bhaja means worship. It is not merely a ritualistic routine and monotonous flower throwing or a mechanical chanting of some selected mantras or hymns. Seeking our identity with the Lord is true bhajan. True seva is service. I'll read this again. Seeking our identity with the Lord is true bhajan. True seva, service. Be it in your private chapel or in a public temple. The services conducted therein, no doubt, have been regularized in all religions with certain codes of instructions. This is only to bring a uniformity throughout the country. To go through those movements is at best only a religious drill. True bhajan is a total subjective surrender in love and devotion at the altar of the Lord as conceived by the devotee. This process of self-liquidation at the feet of the Lord has been classified under 9 types according to the means adopted. First one is listening to the glory of the Lord, Shravanam. Singing the glory of the beloved of your heart, Kirtanam. Constantly thinking about his nature and beauty, Smaranam. Adorning the feet of the Lord in a spirit of self-obliteration, Padasevanam. With the help of selected mantras and sacred Vedic hymns, employing the necessary things prescribed for it to worship the Lord, Archanam. To pay obeisance in the Lord, Vandanam. Serving, Dasyam. To invoke him affectionately and to discuss with him as a friend, Sakyam, Sakha. And lastly, to offer oneself in a total self-surrender as humble gift at his altar, Atmanivedanam. Very nice. Shall I just read the list again? First one is listening to the glory of the Lord, Shravanam. Second, singing the glory of the beloved of your heart, Kirtanam. Constantly thinking about his nature and beauty, smarana, adorning the feet of the Lord in a spirit of self-obliteration, Pada Sevan, with the help of selected mantras and sacred Vedic hymns, employing the necessary things prescribed for it to worship the Lord, Archana, and to pay obedience to the Lord, Vandana, serving Dasi, to invoke him affectionately and to discuss with him as a friend, Sakyam. And lastly, to offer oneself in total self-surrender as a humble gift at his altar, Atmanivedanam. In all of them, there is a spirit of worship, Bhaja is employed. The essence in all worships, Bhajanam, is service, Seva. Ishvara Seva is Ishvara Bhajanam, no doubt. Jana Seva is certainly Janardana Seva. Anyone wants to discuss anything until this? So this
Actually, the things that we were discussing the other day, Shravana, Manana, and Nidhi Dhyasana, I think it is very beautifully explained here. All the steps, that's how it happens.
The essence of all worship, Bhajanam, is service.
That's the satsang, right? The
bhajan. Satsang is company of truth. Seva, this is Seva. Ishvara Seva is Ishvara Bhajan. And the highest form of Seva is to see, the first thing they say, to see the Lord within you, or you within the Lord. One with the Lord. So being the Lord. How the God serves us, you say serve like that. Jana Seva. Is Janardana Seva. The term Govind to indicate Vishnu appears twice in the Vishnu Sahasranama. Shankara in his commentary explains cytomologically this term to mean in 4 different ways. The highest reality, the supreme Brahman. He dissolves the word Govind in the following 4 ways. He who finds or knows the earth meaning. One who has realized the substratum upon which the world play is going on. Second, he who is the Lord of the cattle, not only as the divine cowherd boy of Goku, but as the very life-giving factor behind all animal passions and the very essence behind the living kingdom. The third meaning of Govind, he confers speech, the very power behind, because of which all the living creatures, through the medium of speech, convey knowledge naturally to each other, be it in the braying of an ass, or in the barking of a dog, or in a thunderous eloquence of a speaker. So Go is knowledge. Govinda, friend in knowledge. The fourth meaning of Govinda is he who is known through the Veda texts, the very supreme reality indicated by the great statements, Mahavakyas. So Govinda is that power that sustains this world and all that is going on. It is the substratum upon which the world plays role. Second meaning of Govinda is the divine cowherd of Gokula, but the very life-giving factor behind all animal passions. The essence behind the living kingdom. Okay? Govinda is knowledge that is expressed through all forms of life. And the fourth meaning of Govinda is the great statements. He is known through the Veda texts, the very supreme reality indicated by the great statements. Yes. In short, Govind stands for the essence, the Atman, which is the truth behind the ever-changing flux of things that constitute the universe of our experiences. Govind is the Brahman of the Upanishads. He is the highest reality, the great God. Therefore, Bhajagovindam means seek your identity with Govind, the Supreme. And do not waste your time in mere grammar hunting and in such other really unprofitable pursuits of secular knowledge, of worldly possessions, of ephemeral fame, of passing joys. The second stanza, I cannot read Sanskrit, so if anyone wants to read, they can read.
मूढजहि धनागततृष्णां कुरु सद्बुद्धिं मनसि वितुष्णां यल्लभसे निज कर्मोपातं वित्तं तेन विनोदय चित्तं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं मूढमते.
O fool, give up the thirst to possess wealth. Vittha is wealth, no? Create in your mind, devoid of passions, thoughts of the reality. With whatever you get as a reward of the past, entertain your mind, be content. Seek Govinda, seek Govinda. So
I will read that meaning also. Moodha, O fool. Jahihi, give up. Dhana, agama trishna, the thirst to process wealth. Kuru, create. Sadbuddhi, thoughts of reality. Manasi, in your mind. Vitrushna, devoid of passions. Yata, with whatever. Labhase, you get as a reward of the past. Nija karma, by your action. Upattam, obtain. Vittam, the wealth. Tena, with that. Vinodaya, entertain. Chittam, your mind. And that same, Bhajagovinda. O fool, give up the thirst to possess wealth. Create in your mind, devoid of passion, thoughts of reality. With whatever you get, so entertain your mind to be content.
Very nice. The extrovert personality wanders away from reality to get himself enmeshed in the finite experiences of joy and seeks his fulfillments in the world outside. Desire for possessing, acquiring, hoarding, and enjoying is the only motive force that takes man out of his own inner equipoise into the stormy realms of lust and greed. By so doing, man gets himself involved in the sorrows of samsara, although he is really the inheritor of endless peace and perfection. One who comes to suffer from one's own ignorance is called a fool. I'll read this again. The extrovert personality wanders away from reality to get himself enmeshed in the finite experiences of joys and seeks his fulfillment in the world outside. I think 99% of the people are in this category. Desire for, I'm also in that, desire for possessing, acquiring, holding, and enjoying is the only motive force that takes man out of his own inner equipoise into the stormy realms of lust and greed. By so doing, man gets himself involved in the sorrows of samsara. So true. Although he is really the inheritor of endless peace and perfection. Wow. This has to get into our psyche, that we are the inheritor of endless peace and perfection. One who comes
you're so beautiful. So beautiful, Sat Chit Anand Swarup, that we have to remember. We all are so fortunate that we have started this Bhajagovindam.
Yeah.
Feeling really. As you said, we all are falling into that category, no? Who are so busy with the world around us, with body, mind, intellect complex.
At this point, Nanaji also told about that 12 or 20 virtues, no? To remember every time of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, we have to write it up somewhere and put it on the
fridge. On the wall only we have to keep that.
Yeah, until it gets encrypted in our inner wall. We have to make it outer wall, the exhibition. Very true.
One who
Like
comes to suffer.
Good student, we have to do that really. Every now and then our mind goes somewhere, no? We find something here and there.
Busy planning for the future. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, like a pendulum, as Gurudev says, no?
And when Nanaji said no today, that today is lost forever, I was thinking of how when my children were young, I was always focusing on their future. I would tell them, when you grow up, what you want to do. I didn't let them live today as a child. I was constantly in my anxiety what they should become in the future. I was preparing in my mind. I thought I was doing the right thing, but he said today is lost forever. That day was lost for that childhood.
You are right, Sumati. I think most of us mothers, we are like that only. Always thinking a few steps ahead for our kids.
And also the system was also like that. If you go to the school system, constantly prepare for midterm test and half yearly, annually, all that. Constantly we are, we are not living in that day. We can do all the homework and etc. in that day, but focusing on life, that is something.
But here again, we are preparing for the future only. He said, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, because we don't know that moment, no? So we are again planning that only. Isn't it?
But planning here is, you have to be with the God. That is, your mind should be filled with the Lord.
Moment we are in present moment. That moment we are in present moment, but still we are doing it for that next moment.
so that we'll remember at the time of death.
Correct, correct.
So it comes only with practice. So even that we have to practice.
And the example he gave, no, of the stampede of that Seoul's yesterday. So we don't know when that moment will also arrive.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hari Om, I
Even
think
then-
in olden, sorry, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I was just saying the example of banana peel also. You never know the next moment. You stepped out of the home and you are not there.
Hmm.
I think in older system, that's why it was so nice that their kids used to go to the guru ashram only for their vidyabhyas. So I mean, this was so clear for our rishis that if they stay in the home, it will be like chaotic for the whole sansar. So they used to send them to the guru kul. So they had a guru who was taking care, who was always in the present moment, and they used to take care of them so well that they were well prepared not only for the present but even for their future. I think that system was really nice.
Yeah. The holistic development of the child.
True, very true. And that is the ultimate truth, no, Sumaji? We were so busy making them prepared for only the materialistic world. It was, at present, I feel that it was we only who imbibed these values. Your toys, your books, your
Yeah.
notebook. All the
Yeah.
time we were making them conscious that it belongs to you only. And without realizing that it will create a very different world for them.
Yeah. I constantly think that my focus was marks, marks, marks. And why did I focus on marks? So that you will have a good life, so you can earn money and have a good life. So the focus was just marks and money. I feel
Rajasic love
Yeah,
of
I
parents.
realize it has no value. The marks, whatever rewards or medals they got as in a school, it has no value for the
no
real
value
life.
at all. Yeah, true, true.
But that is also one part. That is the Rajasic love of parents, isn't it? But that is also one
But
part.
it
But
was an ignorance. It was in total ignorance.
yeah, and we should realize, we should have realized maybe giving, along with giving that part, that is also very essential to live. We should always add spirituality into it also. So both go hand in hand, because that is for living. Part is also required. Getting marks and
Yeah,
getting career
true,
done. And of
true,
course,
true.
we should have added a little bit of spirituality into their, although we tried to, but it was very less in amount as compared to the other part, which we were
Focus was
emphasizing
not
more.
on that.
We were
Only when
emphasizing the
I
other
did
part.
yeah. If you
Yeah.
all have done Know Your Child, either as a teacher or as a participant, if you have attended Know Your Child, that is when I woke up. By then, my children were all grown up and gone. That's when I realized the whole focus of childhood was lost.
In the
Because
next
it was
stanza,
something
next,
else. But when
pardon,
Gurudev Know Your Child,
excuse me, but
one
in the
who
next,
comes to suffer from one's own. Yeah, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, Sumaji, she
continue,
told
Bella. Continue.
Yeah, I just said that Gurudev's Know Your Child is a very, very powerful course. Either you attend as a participant or get trained and teach that course. It is very, very powerful, because then you will not have any regrets of bringing up
Yesterday
children.
in satsang, someone asked the question, as a couple, we want a divine child who is divine child they want. So what to do? He said, don't label any child. They are already so much in peace and happiness, and they are in the divinity only. It is us only we are doing that to make him aware of his existence and all we are giving. They are spiritually evolved only, but it is in our hand how we are growing them. Yesterday only Gurudev said this again.
So coming back to this text, one who comes to suffer from one's own ignorance is called a fool, Buddha. Shankara hits the nail on the head of the entire problem of the sorrows in life when he appeals to man to give up the thirst to possess wealth. Here the term wealth, dhanam, is to be understood in the largest sense of the term. It includes in its embrace all worldly objects of possession with which the possessor vainly feels a temporary satisfaction. Wealth in itself is innocent. Philosophy is not against wealth. It is not said here, renounce wealth, but only the insatiable thirst, Krishna, for wealth that is to be given up. Yeah. Desire for wealth is the relationship that the individual keeps subjectively with the objects of the world, which he believes can probably give him happiness. The objects outside are not to be condemned, but man's relationship with them is to be intelligent and chaste. When mind is thus cleansed of passions, with a passionless mind, Vitrishna, without the thirst for holding, one must meditate upon the reality. If the mind is withdrawn from its present preoccupations, it becomes empty and nature abhors vacuum. If the mind is withdrawn from the objects of its entertainment, it gathers in itself an infinite momentum. And if it cannot discover for itself a creative field of self-application, it is sure to dissipate itself again into a different set of objects. Very true. The mind is withdrawn from the objects of its entertainment. It gathers in itself an infinite momentum. Very true. So that's where Gurudev says, no, direct the energy of the youth into something constructive. Otherwise, it will dissipate itself again into different set of objects. Very, very true. Cleanse the mind of its lust for objects, greed for possessions, covetousness for wealth, and apply the same mind in the fields of contemplation upon the real, the enduring, the eternal. The practical man of the world, at this advice of the philosopher asks a pertinent question. If possessions are not to be courted, if wealth is not to be acquired, how are we to live? If a philosopher is impractical, the man of the world has not got enough common sense to throw up the philosophy and walk his path of joyous fulfillment. No honest philosopher can afford to preach something impractical and impossible. Shankara here indicates how we must live in the world. His advice to us is to live joyously in contentment and satisfaction at what we get as a result of our actions. There is no limit to human imagination. An individual who has given reins to it can never stop at any conceivable point. Desires multiply the more we satisfy them. The more the desires are satisfied, the more seems to be the hunger, and the deeper gnaws into our peace a sense of tragic dissatisfaction. Man seeks satisfaction in life, but wealth can purchase for us only sense gratifications. Temporarily, no doubt, the passion in us seems to get fulfilled. But ere long, the thirst, the Trishna returns back to our bosom to persecute us more ruthlessly, and that too with a merciless tyranny, to discover a sense of contentment and live on what we acquire with our honest labor, and not to feed our covetousness, seem to be the only method by which true happiness and inner peace can be gained. In such a bosom alone, the higher contemplations and the consequent discoveries of the new dimensions of the spiritual reality are ever possible. Very true. The other day I was doing manana of these two words. What is fulfillment and what is contentment? And this is what I arrived at. Fulfillment you get when you do something that brings you joy, and you're able to do some, for me it was seva that brings me that fulfillment. And contentment, I realize, is a state of your mind, state of your being, that dawns on you without you having to do anything. This is how I distinguished between fulfillment and contentment.
That's very beautiful,
Any
Sumaji.
thoughts?
Thanks for sharing. Very
on
beautiful.
contentment?
And the day before yesterday, Gurudev has tweeted about the moksha. He said, when you die with the contentment, that is moksha.
Yeah,
And
I saw
for
that.
fulfillment, we need a desire. But for contentment, whatever is with us, there we are happy. With that only we are content. We don't need any external thing to get fulfillment for the contentment.
Hmm. Desire
That's
for wealth.
right.
Yeah, poor.
No, I'm just saying very nice, very eye-opening difference both of you have brought. Very nice. Fulfillment and contentment. Thank you for sharing.
Just to add to what Sarla ji said, look, contentment, when you die, is moksha may not, okay, maybe true, I don't know if Gurudev has said, but living in contentment is also moksha. Jivan mukta, right? You have to, moksha is not after death. So there's a
Dying with
concept.
contentment means it is not after death only you will be a moksha. But contentment is a major ingredient for you to be get a moksha, no?
Correct,
Contentment.
correct. That's what. So while living, being contented is itself moksha, right?
And
Then
many people do whatever the practices and everything, but at the last moment, whatever is the tatparya of this Bhajagovindam, after that means people do all spiritual practices, but that last moment you will not chant that names, or you will be not content, or you will be not in that state. That's why I remembered that tweet of Gurudev.
Yeah, last minute you'll remember only what you have been remembering throughout, right? That's the most likely thing, or rather you'll be more anxious or worried about losing your body.
Yeah, again that 20 virtues again came to mind. If we practice it again and again, then only it will happen, no?
Can you repost that 20 virtues?
Yeah, I will ask Brahmaraji. She has written it, noted somewhere. It is in, I will also
Share
share
in the
it.
chat, but you have to go back.
Yeah, I will share today. Okay.
Jai Gurudev, but
Desire?
I agree with Vijay Bhaiya that if your life is full of contentment, you're living a life of contentment, that itself is a moksha.
That's what they say. The Jivan Mukta is someone
Yeah.
who is contented.
Yeah.
And these 20 virtues also, look, it's not 20 virtues that you have to remember, and that's not the point of the 20. That's how I see it. We all know, as we are already on the spiritual path, right? Being good, doing good, thinking good, this is all. If you really look at it, these three, if you imbibe into you, that's it. Finish. All 20 virtues are into these three. Think good, do good, be good. We all know if that aspect is a part of our nature, then those 20 qualities are already there. There's no need to remember 20 and say, oh, today I'm going to practice this, or tomorrow I'm going to. No, it's not required. It's second nature to you, the way you deal with situations, deal with people, you conduct your day-to-day activities. That's it. Right? I think that's how these things look. Bhajagovindam, I guess Nanaji has started for some reason, right? Before going to 18th chapter. If you really see, Bhajagovindam is very hard hitting. It will really hit hard. So he probably wants to show that strictness before you get into, you have done 17 chapters, but still if we are caught up in the world, then listen to Bhajagovindam, get some good, strong hitting, and then yes, maybe 18th chapter will make sense. Probably that must be Nanaji's thought. I'm just guessing. So this is...
Yeah, Vijayji, I was thinking that only because mind is such a thing, no? I come again and again to that, means Maya ka jo moha, ya jo bhi hai, Shadripus, that come again and again in our life. So after hearing the Bhajagovindam, again our eyes opens. And yeah, really we are getting ready for that chapter 18.
So this will really...
Unless our nature becomes that, we cannot be that.
Correct. That has to become. It has to, probably with this Bhajagovindam, maybe it really takes us to that next stage. Otherwise, we are in that same stage. Okay, intellectually, we heard a lot of things, listened to a lot of knowledge, but unless it becomes a part of us, because there is no other way. You have to experience it, right? Without that, all this is just an additional information, something along with a lot of other things we know. This also we know, but unless this is experiential, we have not gained anything. Actually, we have not gained anything. Yes, some knowledge we gained, but that knowledge, unless it is experiential and a part of our day-to-day life, it will just, we have not moved ahead really. That's how Bhajagovindam will tell us eventually as we go along. So it is hard hitting, and unless it transforms our life really, it is also going to be another scripture that we read or we listen to, not even read. It's beautiful, beautiful to start changing, because the goal of everything that we do, everything, somewhere a little earlier, Sumaji was reading, right? Everything that we do in life, the ultimate goal is that peace. We are all looking for that, isn't it? Which is our Swarupa. It's mentioned. We are inheritor of that peace. But we are looking for it. We are looking for it somewhere outside. It's a misplaced search. Constant misplaced search. Searching for it. in people, in money, in property, in list, a lot of things, in children. We are constantly searching for it, but wrong place to search. It's all inside only. So that, yeah, it comes out very, very strongly in this Bhajagovindam. So yeah, hopefully we'll get better prepared to experience when we do the 18th chapter and really move ahead, move to the next level. That's what I think Nanaji is trying to bring into all of us. Yes.
Desire for wealth degrades man. Thank you, Vijayji, for reminding that again and again, hard hitting. So I'll just finish off this second verse meanings. So desire for wealth degrades man. Attachment brings endless worries. There is strain in acquiring. There is struggle to preserve intelligently what has acquired. There is struggle to preserve intelligently what one has acquired. There is pain when one comes to lose what one has acquired laboriously. There is anxiety to preserve what one has already gained. This is a game of restless sorrows only. In Kathopanishad, the young boy Nachiketas, in his answer to his teacher, Lord Death, has beautifully expressed this idea. Man is never satisfied with his possessions alone. Again, Shankara, in his Vivekachudamani, quotes the famous statement of the Brihadaranya Upanishad and says that the deathless and the imperishable can never be hoped to gain through possession of wealth. What we have to leave in life, what we have to leave in life is only our sense of covetousness. And with this renunciation comes the true enjoyment of the world outside. This open promise we read in the Ishavasya Upanishad. Renounce and enjoy. Covet not others' wealth. Shall we stop here for today?
Sure.
Yeah.
We can go to chapter verse 3 tomorrow. So if there's any thoughts on this possessions, attachment to possessions? This is very true. We struggle to get this wealth, and then we also struggle to maintain it. And there is so much anxiety about losing it.
In
All
Bhagavad
very
Gita,
painful.
in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives this assurance that, especially for all jnanis, yoga kshema, he says. Yoga kshema is that yoga is getting what you want. You will get what you want. And kshema is he will help you to maintain what you have already got. So that assurance in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan gives. You don't have to struggle. Don't be anxious about getting something and then maintaining it and having it all the time with you. No. Says he assures that for all jnanis. You will get whatever you need before you even think about it, it will arrive.
Yoga kshemam vahamyaham, he said. So even for insurance policy, that same
LIC has that as a tagline.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, actually. It's just that.
Now that yoga kshemam is being one with the divine, isn't it? Being in that reality. That is yoga kshemam, no?
No, yoga kshemam, the way I understood it was yoga in that context is about getting what you want. And
means I am doing for you everything. So you just be in the divine remembrance of me. I am doing your work.
That's what I'm saying. That yoga is that union with the divine, that reality, constantly being in that reality. That is that yoga kshema. So definitely jnanis are assured that whatever you want, you will get even before you want, all that. Here, this is about Ajnanis, no? Like we are struggling to get wealth, and we are struggling to maintain it, and we are anxious of losing it. So there is endless sorrow. So that is why he says, drop your attachment. Man is never satisfied with his possessions alone. The deathless and the imperishable can never be hoped to gain through possessions of wealth. This is the material wealth we are talking about.
Yeah, everyone is behind that, right? So that's where he is again and again saying that will not help. I think somewhere Swami Chinmayananda ji also has mentioned that learn to have, but not to possess. So there's a very subtle meaning in that, right? Yes, you can have what you want, but the moment we see something that we want to possess it. That leads us to sorrow. So if we can, he quote an example somewhere where he says, when you look at a beautiful mountain, you like it, you see that sight and you really feel good, but you don't feel like possessing that mountain, right? Same way, if everything that you appreciate, if you're able to look at it like that, then it's going to be very beautiful. You'll feel happy about everything because you're not in that mode of wanting to possess it. But we are in that state where everything that we see and we like, we want to possess it. And then once we possess, then we are afraid of losing it. So all that is what leads us to this samsara. Slowly.
Here, I want to clarify. Actually, somebody asked Gurudev, when someone is sannyasi, why you want to possess good things, or why you want to go by car or some good hotel, like that, means for stay. He said, ki, it's not ki we have to not possess anything, but we should not possess is by attachment, no? So we can, for our convenience, comfort, we can have that. But that you said no कि that वो भावना नहीं आनी चाहिए कि ये मेरा है, मुझे चाहिए. It is with me. Like whatever we have, it is God's. In Bhagavad Gita is also said, no, we are doing for him, for his things only. मैं शायद कुछ बोल नहीं पाती हूँ कुछ चीजें क्लियरली, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि हमें सब छोड़ ही देना है, कि possess नहीं करना है.
नहीं, छोड़ देना और पोसेस करना अलग अलग बातें हैं शायद. लाइक he doesn't say कि आपके पास or you should not earn wealth or you should not have all that you can have, but कल अगर किसी वजह से ना हो तो भी कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए. उससे भी फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए, राइट?
करेक्ट.
वो एक वैसा सिचुएशन आना चाहिए कि है तो है, नहीं है तो नहीं है, ठीक है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. तो बाइंडिंग डिजायर नहीं है, फिर आपका वो बाइंडिंग नहीं है डिजायर, उसमें वो फर्क है ना. अभी गुरुदेव जहाँ है उनके लेवल में हाँ वो उनको 7 स्टार में भी रह सकते हैं, लेकिन उनको उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, करेक्ट. लेकिन आम आदमी अगर एक बार 7 स्टार में रहे तो उसको नेक्स्ट टाइम अगर कोई 5 स्टार में बुक करे तो उसको नहीं अच्छा लगता है वो. मतलब तो वो भावना, वो सोचने का ढंग बदलना चाहिए. है तो है, नहीं है तो नहीं है, नो प्रॉब्लम. हम हमेशा आगे के बारे में सोच के परेशान होते हैं कि कल मेरा ये लाइफस्टाइल जो आज है ये होना ही चाहिए या बेहतर होना चाहिए, इसलिए हम बच्चों के लिए ये चाहिए वो चाहिए, उनका लाइफ ऐसा होना चाहिए, ये वो सोचते हैं ना. क्यों? क्योंकि हमें ये डर है कि आज का जो लाइफस्टाइल अगर कल नहीं है तो क्या होगा. वो अगर हम उससे निकल सकते हैं तो बड़ा सुकून मिलता है.
Here, आपका वो so what and so hum, they are so useful, Vijay ji.
Yeah. It's all that only. है तो है, नहीं तो नहीं. आना चाहिए. मतलब वो that also is yeah, state of mind, way of looking at life. वो आस्ते आस्ते बदलना है.
Very true. And not only for the material possession, but even for our children, we have them through us. But we tend to become so possessive about everything around them and about them. We forget that they have come through us, but we cannot have that possession. We can have that, give that freedom to them. They have come with different encryption as a soul.
Correct. उनका life अलग है ना. That's a different life altogether. So life को अपने आप, yeah, we'll give them or nurture them, show them all the right things, but then let them live the way they have to live. हम ये सोचते हैं कि वो हमारा it's like our possession or property and वो ऐसा ही होना चाहिए जैसा हम चाहते हैं. उसी में प्रॉब्लम होता है.
Yeah.
होगा आस्ते आस्ते सब कुछ सही.
Thank you for sharing, everyone. It's so beautiful and so great, feeling so grateful to be in this Manana. Thank you, everybody.
Hari Om. Jai Gurudev. Have a great day, all of you.
Jai Gurudev. So we will end for today. We'll do Shanti Mantra. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
everyone.
Jai Gurudev. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, everyone.